Rocket Racing presents Show Us Your Tips. Daggy and Beaver with you, looking towards Stakes Day, wrapping up the Melbourne Cup Carnival. We might all be a little bit punt drunk, Beaver, but you fared all right yesterday, and we head towards the finale tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a bit like that, mate. Is keeping up with all the form and all the punting is no mean feat. But fared all right yesterday. The Dags just struggled a bit. The boys we caught up and had a few beers and had a punt, and you were reeling a little bit by the end of the day. But Beaver came out swinging as he always does.
It's all character building. He got
That's
the
it, mate.
right. There's something. So anyway, we move on. We head to Stakes Day, where there's a bit of rain around throughout the afternoon. The rail heads out to the 8. Look, by this stage of the day, I think you want to be coming down the middle of the track, or this stage of the week, I should say. So we'll treat it that way. We kick off with the mile benchmark 90, where Hosier, from where we saw it yesterday, it's been backed into evens. Looks like the way to start the day.
I think so. I think it looks exactly the way to start the day. Look, it's got strong form. Didn't get beat last preparation, resumes here, and this is a pretty moderate affair. It's got second favourite equation, which I'm quite shocked, but it hasn't really done a lot this preparation, but I've still continued on to bring it to Melbourne, and maybe it can run better, but I don't see it knocking the favour off.
No, Hosier on top, very hard to beat, and goes on to bigger and better things from here, whatever they may be. Now I think of it. Race 2 is the Queen Elizabeth, the Group 3 over the 2,600 metres. We don't get any of the Cup field backing up here. What are you doing?
Look, pretty interesting race, isn't it? It's a small field, but probably 5 good chances in it. To be honest, Warning was good last start, but a hard horse to catch. Is that its run for the preparation? I don't think it wins 2 in a row too often. It's got the 59. I thought just at the odds, a horse like Wentwood might be hard to beat. It was pretty good last start. It dug deep to win the Bendigo Cup, which I thought was a good win, beating Smokin' Romans. And the start before that beat home Floating Artist and ran a really close second to Duas. So I think that's pretty good form for this, around the 550. I'm happy to play it in the wider market.
I've put Warning on top, maybe almost jockey base there, but it was heavily back last start. One in due course comes down, but this is a wide race. Sound looked good last run. It's been its best run in a long time. Luna Fair did beat Floating Artist, and you mentioned Wentwood. So one on top from 4 and 2, but yeah, a tricky and potentially a trap race here, because where's the speed? Maybe someone might just roll forward and try and pinch a break on the other 4. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, race 3, benchmark 80 over the 2,000 metres, where I was in market order here. I thought Alcyone has been good this prep. Bowman goes on, and not that it's much of a change losing Oliver there, but drawn okay this time of the carnival, as I've said, and takes on the older horses. I think it's a very live chance, as the market suggests, and the market's right with the other chance. Vitruvius heavily back last start, won well, and Preble's flying. So they're the two. What are you thinking?
I'm just going to flip them. I'm going to go for Vitruvius at the odds, and got my mate Paulie Pruska, who trains the stayers very well here. Love the way it won last start. I think this will settle off the midfield, and I think the way it's drawn, it's gets the right run and cut into the race here, and it can finish off down the middle of the track and gets 3 kilo pull off the favourite. So I'm tipping that weight pull might be enough to see it prevail.
Cool. Race 4 is the 1,400 metre listed Amanda Elliott for the 3-year-olds. How's this for a race, Beaver? Who's going to win?
No idea, mate. Look, pretty open race. I thought Desert Rain could be hard to beat. Thought it was pretty good at Moonee Valley last start. 2 starts back, and then didn't have a lot of luck behind Fangirl, which was pretty good run last start at Randwick, and it franked the form coming to Melbourne. So I think it can go back to Melbourne and be super hard to beat.
Yeah, no idea. I like what you said there. I like the other Sydney form that's come down. I don't like Gate 1, but Bend the Knee, I think that form's okay. And the O'Shea stable's flying at the moment. I think Snit's on Fire is talented horse. It has formed through mixed moment last prep. And Daily Bugle is 30s, at least has a quick backup from the Carbine Club into this, and might be able to swoop late in the day or late in the carnival from that barrier. But tricky race. Race 5 is the Matriarch Stakes over the 2,000 metres, Group 2 for the mares, where I was happy to stick with Only Words here. I thought it was a pretty good win last start at the Valley. Can springboard off that. Preble, as I've said, sticks and drawn to advantage here. From our intrigue, J-Mac, Waller, obvious coming down. And Mimi's Reward found a bit of form last time. But I think it's, the Waller 2 on top for me. How about yourself?
Yeah, I've gone flipped it the other way. I've got Our Intrigue coming down from Sydney. Look, Waller and McDonald combination at $15. Thank you. I'll have a crack at that. That's well worth a play in any race and such an open affair here. I think Nimali's it's ready to do its best. Pretty good run last start at Flemington in the Empire Rose behind Colette. Was only a length off him there. I think it's the main danger. But I'm going to put Our Intrigue. You can't rule out Only Words, but again, don't think they win too many. Some of these horses don't win 2 in a row too often. So Our Intrigue to beat Nimali.
The first Group 1 on the card, the Darley Sprint Classic, the 1,200 metres up the straight. Nature Strip is $1.30. He has everything to suit. Is there any dangers?
Nope.
Oh, who runs second? Or you don't care?
Who runs second? Look, I think...
I thought Ranch Hand might have been the one if you had to.
I thought Ranch Hand might be the one. Bella Nipotina is one of my favourite horses, so I think it's as honest as they come. 3-1, 2-1, 3-2. Pretty good form. So you got to expect that it'll finish in the placings again. So you're probably looking at the probably 2 favourites, Nature Strip and Bella Nipotina to run the Quinella.
Beautiful. Race 7 at the Chatham Stakes, 1,400 metre Group 3. I was happy to look towards. I'm treating Shaylo as a bit first up only now, I've decided. I have been wrong before. Hard to believe. So I was looking to dice roll here coming off the Forgive run in the Tirac, but a great return to Rupert Clark, just missing there. Again, drawn out, which I like and can give you a sight. One outside the market off the 6-week freshen up, High Strangers, honest, and may improve here around the 30s, and a couple other bits and pieces throughout, but dice roll on top for me. What are you thinking?
Yeah, look, if you put a line through Dice Roll's form last start, certainly was there and thereabouts, and has a bit of quality about it. So certainly wouldn't turn you against that. I tipped Chalet as my best on the card, I think, past start. And look, I don't see any reason why it can't produce another great run. I know you've put it as a first upper only, but that was pretty good. That was a pretty good run flying home. I think the track will be suited by then for the horses coming down the middle. And if it is, look out. I think it's hard to beat, and I think Rainier resuming and fresh could run a nice race as well.
Beautiful. The other Group 1 on the card, the MacKinnon, is race 8, where Zaki missed the Cox Plate and comes here, gets J-Mac, who everyone told us is worth 5 lengths, and they might be right. What are you doing with it?
Yeah, good race, eh? 235 Zaki, and that's because obviously not sure how the illness has impacted it, because last time it started in a race like this, it was $1.40.
Yeah.
So I think if you think that it's recovered from that 230, and this isn't as tough a race as what it was in previously, so was almost that price in the Cox Plate, and this is not the Cox Plate. So look, Zaki for me on top. Love the way Colette's going, back to the last 2 starts, and really think it's flying at the moment. It's certainly going to be hard to beat, and the 2000's right up its alley. So if Zaki's up its game, certainly for me, Colette's the horse to beat, and with a watch on Superstore.
Yeah, Zaki on top for everything you've said there. I am sticking. I think it can bounce back. I'll probably want a little better the more I think about it, and the couple of doubts there are there. Injury, a flat run, all the rest of it. It does get J-Mac. Colette's Live, like you said, gets a quick backup out to 2000 now and gets a bit of cutout. And I'd be super keen on Hungry Heart here, but I don't think it goes at all in the wet. And so I'm just going to take it on at Superstorm, the other danger. So a cracking race, though, and a bit of a couple of different angles there. We wrap up the Melbourne Cup Carnival with the 1100 metre benchmark 80, where I'll finish the day with the favourite, Duchess of Dorset. Hopefully, Craig Williams can at least finish on a winner. Going really well, honest, and there's a few here that have found their mark and are just sort of floating around. What are you thinking?
Look, I've settled on Duchess of Dorset as well. I think it's one of the better bets on the card. I think it gets third up tomorrow. Its form's outstanding. I think gate 9 is perfectly drawn for it. 1100 metres down the middle of the track. Good form on this distance. First time down the Flemington Straight, so that'll be interesting. But so this is a high-speed galloper, and yeah, Duchess of Dorset for me. Main danger potentially Yulong defence.
Mm-hmm. Do you want the quaddie or do you want me to do this one?
Mate, given that I haven't missed what one did I get on?
How about it?
Thursday?
One of them.
Got this one again. All right. I'm doing this one again.
All right.
I'm going to go straight out Nature Strip.
Yeah.
That's for certain. In the second leg, I'm going to go. Let me just get these in runner order. Numbers 1, 2, 4, 11, and 14.
Mm-hmm.
Then in the next leg, in leg number 3, I'm going to go 3, 4, and 9.
Yep.
And I'm going to come home the day a little wider. I'm going to come home with numbers 3, 5, 11, 14, and 15.
Beautiful. For progretracing.com.au, your best and value on the card.
My best bet of the day comes up in race 9, number 14, the Duchess. I think it'll be hard to beat. And then my value bet comes up in race 4, number 7, Desert Rain.
I'll make my best race 1, number 5, Hosier, and my value will go with Only Words, race 5, number 2. We head to Rosehill for the Golden Gift, where the weather is a bit miserly. The soft track, the rail goes 3. We'll keep an eye on how it plays throughout the day. I think it'll be okay. If you can get through a little bit of cut in the ground, you'll be fine. We kick off with the stayers over the 2,400 metres, where I wasn't quite sure what to do here, Beaver. I think Herman Hesse improves, won't be ridden the same way and will improve. But I end up finding Merlinite on top. It has the proper run on a Saturday. On the Saturday there. Gets Alicia Collett and has had a few over the distance to get it ready for this. So I was looking towards Merlinite. What were you thinking?
Yeah, I was going for Suppression from the Wallace stable.
Yeah, okay.
Fresh, only had 3 starts this preparation. All have been pretty good runs. Look, I think it just sits behind the leader here, so it can do a little bit what it wants and pop out and go past them if Tommy Berry's on song.
Race 2 is the Highway, which I'm passing on.
No highways for me, mate.
Race 3 is the Benchmark 78 over the 1,800 metres. I'm giving Shibley another chance here. It was just given 0 chance last time. I think it gets ridden a bit closer from the gate and is the horse to beat from Lady Loves to Gamble, who is flying this prep and finally gets out to a distance that suits as well. So I think they're the 2 main chances. What are you thinking?
No, I've settled on Mayfair Spirit from the Mar Eustace stable. I've liked the way it's finished off last start. It was only a couple of lengths by Ruby Tuesday, who came out and ran well yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty good form. I think it's okay with a bit of give in the ground. It's had a few starts on the soft and done quite well. And prior to that, won a nice race carrying a big weight at Randwick. So, I think Mayfair Spirits can be tough to beat.
Race 4, benchmark 78 over the 11. How do you line up Amici coming to Sydney?
Yeah, tricky. Look, new
In a few
stable
last time, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it's a couple of nice runs last time. I'm going to have it on top. Coming to this coming stable, look, I'm willing to play that it's improved a bit and ready to go fresh. So I think Amici, the one on top for me, it's 2 out of 2 from the heavy and a win and a third from the soft. So I think it certainly likes the sting out of the ground. So I think it might be really hard to beat, actually. I think it probably gets back in.
Yeah, I was looking for a bit of a push from you, so I'm happy to have it on top as well. I thought, you've covered off pretty well there. Race 5 is the Country Classic over the 2,000 metres, where I was with Dream Runner, who has done some pretty good stuff in actual metro races, heads back to a country level race. You probably get $4 tomorrow. The gate might be a concern, but we'll keep an eye on that. Happy to have it on top, though, from number 3, Kit Spoil, who bolted in here, heavily backed and bolted in the highway last time, and may well from that gate, I think, rolls across and will have time to find close to the lead. But going with the metro form predominantly here. How about yourself?
Yeah, Kitzbühel, I would have been a bit more comfortable if Kitzbühel hadn't drawn the car park. It is in 21. There's been one scratching so far. Don't know how many more there'll be. That might help it. So I think it's going to be hard to beat. And I am going to get the alarm out. I'm going to get tip Freedom Square as well from the Massara stable. It's had one start on the heavy for a win. That was at Tamworth, but it was pretty good there, and it wasn't bad last start behind Kitzbühel. It looked had its chances, but finished off quite nicely, and won't have to do much better if Kitzbühel has to have a difficult run.
No, fair
So
call.
probably they're the two.
Race 6 is the Midway, benchmark 70. It starts getting. Sorry to have 10 races on some of these Saturday cards, but some of these are just a slog after a while, aren't they?
Yeah, just a slog.
But I do have Pandora Blue on top, heavily back last start, straight to the front, and bolted in. I think it repeats a dose, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think, looks a pretty nice bet on this card, I actually think.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think I probably have it as my best, to be honest. Race 7, the $1 million Inglis Golden Gift over the 1,100 metres for the 2-year-olds, where I like the win of Sejardin last start, so I'm sticking there. It was pretty impressive. And I thought the one at value here was Ebha for the Snowden camp. It has trialled pretty well, and I think it's been saved for this, and it's about $16. So they were the two, but there's plenty of live chances here. What were you thinking?
Yeah, I agree. The fave was pretty good last start. Finished off quite nicely. I think it's going to be super hard to beat. The other one that I thought ran quite well last start was Sherba. It had a tough run, had to go back to the start, but just kept finding the line. I think he could be further improved by that run. That was over the 1,000 in a tricky race. But it's pretty tricky because a lot of these haven't got a lot of form, if any, and they're first time on a softish to ish track.
Yeah, so I guess we'll know more afterwards. The Hot Danish is the other feature on the card, the Group 2 1,400, named after the tough mare. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, look, pretty tricky affair. To be honest, to finish off, I like Rock Clock. I think it's going to be super hard to beat. It's third up, handles the sting out of the ground. I think it's got more quality than most of these. Still a fairly lightly raced 5-year-old, has only had the 19 career starts, and it's finished in the placings, 12 of those. Randwick's not its best track, but finished a nice second here behind Ice Bath last start. And is better off at the weights, and there's no ice baths in this. So I think Rocker Clock to beat Nudge is the way to go.
Yeah, Rocker Clock on top from me. Yeah, chased home Ice Bath, who went down and ran very well in the Group 1 last week. So defaulting to it on top. It's at least some of these are just haven't done anything for a long time. And the other one I was happy to throw in as a result was Polly Gray, who has done something in the last prep, has spelled in Queensland in his 20s, and it's been pretty good to us. So happy to have at least throw in the quaddie and have a small saver on it in this race, which I think some of these mares we won't see again after a race or two more. Race 9 is the benchmark 78. What are you thinking here?
No, I'm not super keen on anything here. If I was forced to have a pick, Calvary Queen. Forgive last run. Gate 1's a bit of a problem, but probably enjoys the sting out of the ground more than most of these. 3 starts back on the soft. Was only 2 lengths behind Promise of Success, which is a very good horse. And then prior to that, it won on a heavy at Kensington. Which was a nice win, although it had J-Mac on board and doesn't have J-Mac on board here. But nobody else does either.
That is true. Very astute. I defaulted to Fox Fighter. It was okay last start. It's now a yo-yoing back and forward in distance, which I'm not overly wrapped with, but I just didn't know where else to go here. So I've gone with Fox Fighter with no real confidence. And I'm wrapping up the day over the 1,400 metres, benchmark 78. With the quick backup horse, Sushak, it will just miss last start. It's been a recipe for Joe Pride for a long time to back him up on the wet and works quite well. I know he loses Nash, but can bounce straight to the front and be hard to run down. But a few chances go in the quaddie. What are you thinking?
Yeah, look, I tend to lean to Zushak as well. Quick backup is a good pointer. It was only bloused late last start, gets a 3 kilo claim here. So gets in okay at the weights. Should go forward and maybe too good and hold these off at the last of the day.
For progretracing.com.au, I better run through a Sydney quaddie. We'll go 1 Sejardin, 2 Noble, 3 Contemporary, 4 Shervo, 8 Ohio, 11 Ebha. Second leg, 1 Rocker Clock, 2 Polly Gray, 6 Tricky Girl. Race 9, 4 Blazer Trail, 5 Kinlock, 8 Fox Fighter, and home with 1 Zushak, 7 Bless, 8 Media Starguest, 3 Suave, better throw in. So a bit wide there, but we'll see how the day pans out. For Progress Racing, your best and value, Beaver.
Yeah, my value bet, just for you, race 5, number 21 at Freedom Square.
Very good.
If it happens to get scratched, I'll put Kitsville in the same race. Because it's value as well. Those 2, I'd be saving on both. And my best bet comes up in race 8, number 1, Rocker Clock.
I'll make my best Pandora Blue in the midway, and I'll make my value Ebha in the 2-year-old race, and something small on Polly Gray, as I've said in the mares race there. Anything up north?
Mates, not a lot up north because there's a couple of shorties up there early in the day, which makes it really hard. And then the other ones are, not worth backing to a large extent. I do have one in race 6, number 2, Legulate. Usually runs well for me, so I think it'll be hard to beat. And that's about it. If you wanted to have another one in the last, resuming, Wonderful Riri. Race 8, number 5, but Legulate is my best up there, and I only tipped 1 yesterday, and that won the last in Think Glory. So thank you very much, King of the North.
Never in doubt. No. Good way to finish up there. Good job, Beaver. We'll get this up now.
Thank you.
This has been Show Us Your Tips for progretracing.com.au. Apologies for the late edition of the show, but we'll be back next Tuesday with midweek racing. I believe it's at Hawkesbury, though, so I might even take that one under advisement. I don't think I want to bet there ever again. So, but there's more racing next Saturday, I'm sure. So good luck tomorrow, punters. Enjoy the last week of the Cup Carnival, and we'll talk to everyone soon.